Venezuela, one of the best-known countries for producing major league talent. After the U.S. and the Dominican Republic, Venezuela has the third largest presence of players in MLB. They've produced MVPs and Cy Young winners. Year after year, there are Venezuelan All-Stars, Silver Sluggers, Gold Glove winners, future Hall of Famers from Venezuela. Hard to believe they've only once reached the semifinals of the WBC. In the 2006 WBC, they were second in their first-round pool, losing only to the Dominican Republic, and shutting out both Italy and Australia. Another shutout in the second round over Puerto Rico, but lost to Cuba and Dominican Republic again, and were eliminated. 2009 was their best WBC. They again advanced out of the first round, beating Italy twice and going 1-1 against the USA. Perfect in the second round, beating the Netherlands, Puerto Rico, and USA. But in the semifinals they were crushed by Korea, which ended their tournament. In 2013 they failed to make it out of the first round, but a tough round it was. They beat Spain, but lost to Dominican Republic and Puerto Rico, the two teams that would eventually meet in the championship match. In 2017, they were in a three-way tie for second with Mexico and Italy, behind Puerto Rico. They beat Italy in a tiebreaker game and moved on to the second round, but it didn't go well in the second round. They lost all three games to USA, Dominican Republic, and Puerto Rico. At the 2019 Premier 12, they got a win in the group stage over Puerto Rico, but lost to the home team, Taiwan, and the eventual champion, Japan. 2 years ago at the Olympic qualifiers, they beat Canada, Cuba, Colombia, and the Netherlands, but in the end finished one win short of qualifying when they lost to the Dominican Republic. For the first round of the 2023 WBC, they'll be placed in Pool D, the toughest group in the tournament. They'll be joined by Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, Israel, and Nicaragua. They've got as much talent as Puerto Rico, more than Israel and Nicaragua, and can match up well with the Dominicans, but they haven't fared well against the Puerto Rican and Dominican teams in recent WBCs. A lot of people are betting against Venezuela for that reason, but this is a very good Venezuelan team, one that can not only win Pool D, but can win the whole tournament if everything goes right for them. Pitching is strong. The roster has 6 Major League starting pitchers, all of them pretty good. Texas Rangers lefty Martin Perez made his first All-Star appearance last year. 32 starts, 196 innings, ERA .289, WHIP .1258. By far the best season of his 11-year Major League career. Jesus Luzardo, a 25-year-old lefty from the Marlins, coming off his best season where he started 18 games through 100 innings with 120 strikeouts, ERA .332, WHIP .1037. Ranger Suarez, a Phillies left-hander, in his 5th Major League season started 29 games, 155 innings, ERA .365, WHIP .1333. Luis Garcia, a 15-game winner for the Astros in only his 3rd Major League season, 28 starts, 157 innings, 157 Ks, ERA .372, WHIP .1131. Pablo Lopez, a 5-year Marlins pitcher now with the Twins. In 2022, he started 32 games, 180 innings, averaged almost 1 strikeout per inning, ERA .375, WHIP .1167. Eduardo Lopez, a Detroit Tigers lefty, made 17 starts, 91 innings, ERA .450, WHIP .1330. He's had some really good years in the past. In 2019, he had over 200 strikeouts and 200 innings with 19 wins. So that's a lot to choose from. Not sure who they'll go with for their 4-man starting rotation. Any combination could work. They don't have any single dominant pitcher, but they've got so many really good ones. 2 can come out of the bullpen. They don't need to put all their faith in one strong arm to carry them through the game. Now for the rest of the bullpen. Jose Alvarado, a Phillies left-hander, appeared 51 times, 81 strikeouts in 51 innings, ERA .318, WHIP .1216. Andres Machado, 51 games, 59 innings for the Nationals, ERA .334, WHIP .1365. Jose Quijada, an Angels lefty, appeared 42 times, 52 Ks in 40 innings, ERA .398, WHIP .1131, easily the best season of his 4-year Major League career. Jose Ruiz, 63 games for the White Sox, 68 Ks in 60 innings, ERA a bit high at .460, up from .305 in 2021, WHIP .1418. A couple young relievers coming off bad 2022 seasons. Red Sox lefty Darwinzon Hernandez only threw 6 2/3 innings, surrendering 16 earned runs. The season before, he had made 48 appearances with a .338 ERA. 25-year-old Carlos Hernandez from the Royals had a .739 ERA in 56 innings, up from .368 in 2021. He was used as both a starter and reliever in both of those seasons. Yolis Chacin is a former starter converted to a reliever. 2022 was not a good year for him. He had a career-high .761 ERA in 35 appearances, 47 innings, WHIP .1606. In 2021, his ERA was .434, whip .1259. Maybe last year was just a bad year, or maybe he's going downhill with age. He is 35 now. Silvino Bracho only made 3 appearances at the major league level for the Braves last year. With 2 different AAA teams, he posted a .267 ERA in 57 innings, mostly in relief. This winter in the Venezuelan League, 19 innings in relief, ERA .284. German Marquez was supposed to be a part of this bullpen, but yesterday it was announced that he will not be able to play due to a hamstring injury. He'll be replaced by someone in Venezuela's designated pitcher pool. That player hasn't been named yet. You'll see the list of those players a little later. So they've got a couple extra starters they can use in the bullpen, a few good relievers, then some pretty bad ones, if we're looking at 2022 numbers. But if they get all they need out of their starting pitchers, the bullpen should be good enough to finish the job. Besides, this will be a hitting team. Ronald Acuna Jr. is the star of the outfield. We didn't think he was going to be here. He decommitted just weeks before the final roster announcement, then recommitted the day before. A Rookie of the Year, 3-time All-Star, and 2-time Silver Slugger. 119 games in 2022, 15 home runs, 29 steals. Slash line of .266, .351, .413. He can play all outfield positions but spends most time in right these days. Anthony Santander, a switch hitter from the Orioles, hit a career-high 33 home runs last season with a line of .240, .318, .455. Plays mostly in right but also played 38 games in left last year. Left-handed hitter David Peralta, 134 games, 12 homers, 30 doubles, .251, .316, .415. Played all games in left last season. In the infield, Jose Altuve, an 8-time All-Star, 6-time Silver Slugger, 3-time batting champion, Gold Glove, and American League MVP. One of the best hitters in MLB in recent years, and he continued that last season. 300, .387, .533, 28 home runs, 39 doubles, 18 steals. An All-Star, Silver Slugger, and was 5th in MVP voting. He'll be the starting second baseman, where he started almost all the time for the Astros last year. 24-year-old left-handed batter Andres Gimenez. 2022 was his first full season, made his first All-Star appearance, won his first Gold Glove, and was number 6 in MVP voting. Hit .297, .371, .466, 17 home runs, and 20 stolen bases. Played at second most of the time, but with Altuve there, will probably play at short, where he played 18 games last season. Eugenio Suarez is likely to be the starting third baseman, where he started most of the time last season. In 2022, he matched the previous season's mark with 31 home runs, and saw a big improvement in his overall hitting, .236, .332, .459. Only downside is he strikes out, a lot. 196 times last year, led the league in strikeouts for the second time in the last 4 years. 25-year-old Luis Arraez was selected as an All-Star and won a Silver Slugger last year, both for the first time. He hit .316, .375, .420, good enough to win the batting title. He can play second or third, but most often plays at first, which is where he'll probably start for the WBC. Other infielders, 25-year-old Luis Rengifo plays second, third, short, and the outfield. 2022 numbers, .264, .294, .429, with 17 home runs for the Angels. Gleyber Torres, a second baseman and occasional shortstop, hit 38 home runs back in 2019. Hasn't come close to matching that since, but he still hit 24 out of the park last year. .257, .310, .451. Eduardo Escobar, a third baseman, plays a little at first and second. A one-time All-Star, once led the league in triples. In 2022, he hit .240, .295, .430 with 20 home runs. Miguel Rojas, a shortstop and occasional first baseman, hit .236, .283, .323 for the season. And of course, Miguel Cabrera, a 2-time MVP, 7-time Silver Slugger, 12-time All-Star, Triple Crown winner, and most certainly a first-ballot Hall of Famer. About to turn 40, Cabrera's best days are long gone, but he can still be a positive contributor off the bench. Last year, he hit .254, .305, .317. He has played in all 4 WBCs for Venezuela, and homered in each one. Behind the plate, they've got Salvador Perez, a 5-time Gold Glove winner and 4-time Silver Slugger, who just 2 years ago led the league in home runs and RBI. Last season's line was .254, .292, .465, with 23 home runs. Robinson Chirinos is another option at catcher. Played in 67 games for the Orioles last year, but had trouble at the plate. He hit .179, .265, .287 for the year. They've also got OMAR NARVAEZ, an All-Star in 2021 but took a step back last year, hitting .206, .292, .305. in 84 games with the Brewers. And that's the Venezuelan roster. All 30 members played in MLB last season, one of only 3 teams that can say that. A few All-Stars from last season, a couple Silver Sluggers, a Gold Glove winner, the 2022 batting champion, the 2021 home run leader. Quite the group of hitters they've got. The weakness will be the bullpen. The starting rotation will be alright. They'll have 4 starting pitchers who are all good Major League starting pitchers. 2 other good Major League starting pitchers can be used in the bullpen, but if one starter has to take an early exit, it could be hard for them. They don't have a series of dominant relievers to throw out there one inning after another. But still, the bullpen isn't bad. 50% chance they make it out of Pool D. They'll be a close underdog against Dominican Republic, and at least on paper, it looks like they should be favored against Puerto Rico. Given the 2 teams' WBC history, you might argue against that, but just looking at what the 2 teams are bringing, Venezuela looks a little stronger. If they beat Puerto Rico and or the Dominican Republic, they have just as good a chance as any other team. They match up really well with the U.S. team, a couple hitting teams with about the same quality rotation. But again, the bullpen is Venezuela's weakness, and they hope it doesn't come down to that. Against Japan, Venezuela would appear to have the better hitting, Japan the better pitching. Against any other team, Venezuela should be slightly favored. But that's just what I think. Let me know what you think down in the comments. That's all for this one, and until next time, this is Baseball International. See ya.